Hello and welcome back to the NHL Best Bets. Yesterday there were a lot of good games and our picks were split. We got one correct, another was wrong. And here you can see once more our games that we picked last night. Winnipeg won. They beat Ottawa 6-3. And then we had an under bet in Tampa against Columbus, and that was incorrect. It was let's say, nail biter after the first 15 minutes because the result was 3-2 after first period, and then you couldn't get any more goals if you want to win, but at the end, they made one goal to the empty net, and the end result was 5-2. Tommy, how do you see these bets? Winnipeg was maybe boosted a bit with the trade that we will talk a little bit later, but how about Columbus and Tampa?
Yeah, Columbus was very surprising also, probably because partly because of the trade as well. They got now rid of Pierre-Luc Dubois, who had been sitting out or not really performing in the first couple of games of the season. Columbus scored 5 goals against Tampa, so that's a remarkable feat. Of course, it started a little bit off foot for our bet because after the first period, like you said, it was already 2-3, but then the second period was goalless. So we got the excitement until the end, but then on the 6th minute, Columbus scored the leading goal, and then in the empty netter the 5th one. So the score is not exactly that big. 7 goals is not exactly the truth there, so it could have been easily under, but of course the start was bad for us in there. And Winnipeg then, not much to say, that they were overwhelming against Ottawa, so something that we expected to happen, so very clear pick there.
How about other games yesterday? Did our simulations were correct, or how the machine performed?
Yeah, we did a little bit of a profit, not quite a decent round, let's say. Of course, we missed out on Boston improving against Philadelphia. We like Philadelphia there again. The last one went to overtime, and now Boston beat Philly 6-1. So it was a clear game for Boston. So we were incorrect in that one. But then St. Louis beat Los Angeles. We got that about 3% value there. 63% for St. Louis and 60% was the odds, so a good pick there. Also, Montreal beat Vancouver again. That was the one that had these fluctuating odds going around. So the simulations now show Montreal having about a percentage of value at the closing odds. But that's about it. There was only 5 games last night, so we did a little bit of a profit. Overall, we are in the positive for plus 177, and there has been 73 picks altogether with side value. And in the totals, a little bit less picks, 26 correct, 23 wrong, and a profit of plus 70. So we're on a good path. Let's keep this going, and now with a little bit more games available, I think this profit will go up also.
Yeah, that overall number sounds pretty good. Steady performance brings good results. I think one note still for the Boston-Philadelphia game, that like we discussed, Boston started to play previous game, third period, with full speed, and they really continued now in next game. So maybe the earlier problems with Boston scoring are now behind, and they are cranking in all cylinders. Could maybe be good bet in next game when they are playing, not tonight, but they will get Pittsburgh on Wednesday, or actually Tuesday evening, and there, let's see what kind of value we have for Boston.
Yeah, should be a very good game. The diesel engine of Boston Bruins is getting going, so it will be a tough night for Penguins in a couple of nights.
Yep. But a few words about the big trade that happened yesterday. So Like you said, Columbus sent their disgruntled center Dubois to Winnipeg, and they got back Patrick Laine, who was selected one step earlier in the draft, first round second pick, while Dubois was first round third pick a few years ago. And then also another first rounder, Jack Roslovich, that was originally from Columbus area and returning now to home. How do you see this trade? Was it a win-win for both teams, or did another team got short end?
In a way, it was a win-win. Both teams got what they wanted in it, but I still think that Jarmo Kekäläinen did a really good job in trading Pierre-Luc Dubois, who was publicly told that he doesn't want to play in Columbus, performed really badly in the last game, and all this sort of thing. So I'm amazed that Kekäläinen was able to pull such a return from a trade that he was pretty much forced to do. So getting one of the better goal scorers in the league in Patrick Laine, Finnish guy as well, so probably quite familiar with his style. And then Jack Roslovich, who, like you said, is a Columbus native, so returning home now, probably very exciting for him and of course for Columbus fans as well. So I think the return was excellent. Columbus got a little bit of depth. They got an excellent goal scorer, which has been a little bit of a problem, except for now against Tampa. It seemed to work fine, but I can't have everything. And also then for the Winnipeg, they got the young centerman that they've been looking for. Of course, they still need to strengthen their defense probably a bit, but they got Pierre-Luc Dubois, and apparently he wants to play in Canada. So going to Winnipeg should be a win for him as well. So I think it was a good trade from both, but I still think that Columbus got the better of it.
Do you think that this would improve Columbus so that they are now better positioned to reach playoffs? Because I remember our season previews, they were just out of the playoff picture in their division.
Yeah, it's a very tight competition there for the last playoff spot, but definitely Columbus now, especially in the simulations, because they've been scoring really low amount of goals. So now with the arrival of Roslovich and Laine, who both can score, their production should go up. So it's likely that they win a little bit more games and might be actually pushing for the playoffs.
We'll see how that goes, and it's interesting to see how both of these star caliber players are now adapting to the new environments and how fast they can score. Naturally, Laine have a bit injury. He hasn't played last two games in Winnipeg. Also, his visa and work permits needs to be sorted out, and looks like that's not smooth sailing as it has been in the past. So I think Sami Vatanen and Mikael Granlund have waited their visas in US for months, so hopefully Laine can get it sooner.
Yeah, you would think so after playing a couple of games already in the States.
Yeah. But we have also made a few selections for tonight games that start quickly. We continue to rely on Winnipeg. Now they get this back-to-back game, Edmonton as a visitor, and Winnipeg has performed reasonably well in back-to-back games at home. They have been same level as any other home games. There hasn't been any dip for the performance, and they have played very well against Edmonton. Out of 9 games, they have won 7 during the last 3 seasons. So I think Winnipeg is in good position to continue their stride here. And then other game, Toronto starts their road trip in Calgary. Calgary is naturally one of the worst home teams. They have better road record than home record, but we trust on Calgary here. They have played well, maybe even very well the beginning of the season, and Toronto has been a bit roller coaster, sometimes playing very well, sometimes not. Toronto also have a few injuries that impacted their performance in scoring end. How do you see, Tommy, are these sure bets with bigger bet size this time?
Yeah, I like especially Winnipeg now. Now with the trade out of the way, they're playing Edmonton. Edmonton's been quite bad. The odds are really, really nice for a home team here. We have them winning 53% of the simulations, while the odds are around 46. So there is quite huge value for Winnipeg. So it's a good bet, and I'd definitely make that one. And then Calgary, of course, they've been strong in the early season. They've only played 3 games, but still. Very impressive, especially defensively in the goal. Jakob Markström's been absolutely brilliant, like he was last season already for the Canucks. So I think this is something that Calgary can rely on, and Toronto will have tough time scoring, getting scoring chances and scoring goals. So I think Calgary is also a good bet at home.
Yeah, I also think that these are good selections. There's of course a lot of other games, of early games as well. First are starting already within 2 hours or so. How about these others? We had a previously value for Chicago against Detroit, but the odds are not very great in the first game tonight. Then Washington plays against Buffalo, and then Arizona gets another shot against Vegas. So any value for these games, or then the later ones that are starting in the evening?
There are a couple of value bets here. Actually, we have the Buffalo. Washington again without their Russian star players. We have now Buffalo winning, with the odds have changed a bit. So Buffalo is 56% favorite, and the odds around 54%. So a little bit favored there after the overtime loss last time. Then there is the early game, Chicago-Detroit. Like you said, we're favoring Chicago once more against Detroit, which in the simulations is quite a bad team. So there is quite a lot of value for Chicago. But in reality, Chicago is probably not that good a team yet. So especially missing Jonathan Taves and a couple of other forwards there. So I would stay away from that, but it's an interesting game to watch. That if Chicago can get one over of their almost local rivals. In the later games, there is the Arizona one. Like you said, that we last time predicted them correctly to win Vegas, and this time around we indicate it's a 50-50 game, so pretty much of a coin flip. And with the odds of plus 142 for the Arizona, there is quite a lot of value, but we're being cautious with Vegas because it is a really good team. So I think that you might have to wear your Vegas attire tomorrow again.
Yeah, let's see how the Vegas plays, if there's any gamble to bet against them. How about then our one of the preseason favorites, New York Rangers? They are playing again against Pittsburgh. Do you think they'll find another way to lose like they have been able to do during these first few games?
Yeah, they've discovered the art of losing, so they've been able to lose in many different ways. Last time they led by 2 goals against Pittsburgh, but they ended up losing in the shootout. Then this game is probably going to be quite similar. We have it exactly at 50-50%, so very much of a coin flip again. In the odds, of course, Penguins are home favorites here, but I do believe that Rangers are going to improve from last time around and probably make it a even better game for themselves, and I think they might actually win it. But like I said, 50-50 coin flip, so maybe not bet a house on this one.
And then one other game that has also home team underdog that is having some value is New Jersey Devils playing against New York Islanders. Islanders beat Devils in their previous games at home, but now they are visitors in New York. Do you think it makes sense to bet for the Devils, as they have been playing maybe a bit better than expected?
Yeah, there might be. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be a blowout in any way. So Islanders low scoring team, very defensive, same way as the Devils is. So Devils young players have improved a lot, so they have a chance definitely. But the value is not a lot there. It's about less than 2% there. So very close game, but should be entertaining to watch, especially with the coaches there, Barry Trotz. For Islanders, and the defensive work of this team is just magnificent. So if you like defensive teams, New York Islanders is your go-to. But I think the Devils have a great chance to actually get some points from this one.
Do you know who is playing Devils goal? Is this Mr. Blackwood already back in business, or he's still injured?
He is still out. I think he was a COVID protocol he's out with, but Scott Wedgwood is marked as a starter. Of course, they acquired Aaron Dell from the waivers, but I'm not sure if he's able to play. I think no one is really sure how this COVID quarantine thing works, but at least for now, Scott Wedgwood, like in the last game, is marked as a starter.
Okay. I think this is also one thing that needs to be checked before the game, who is starter here, because Devils, when they won both Boston Bruins and New York Rangers a few games ago, they were relying on quite a bit to goaltending, and Mr. Blackwood was their cornerstone of that defense. Yeah,
definitely in these times, especially, it's worth to check the lineups and the goaltenders, because there can be drastic changes just before the game easily.
We'll check those and we start to watch Chicago visiting Detroit, supporting Chicago here. And of course, if there's some football guys, we have some NFL action going as a conference finals tonight as well.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes, and we'll come back tomorrow.
That will do.